this has been a match I've been looking forward to for a long time, actually. I decided to build Mickie James up, and she really hasn't had many losses leading up to this match. I think the only loss that she has was in that triple threat match that happened quite a long time ago between Shayna Baszler, Tamina, and Mickie. One fall. You mean EBCW Women's Championship, Greg Hamilton. Either way, Mickie James is the challenger for the Women's Championship, and she seems to be very excited. She's been to the top of the mountain before. She's a veteran. I've said on this channel before that she is basically a women's wrestling legend. And now here we are, facing off against the undefeated Shayna Baszler. Let's also mention that in that triple threat match between Shayna, Mickie, and Tamina, Shayna was the victor, and I wrote her off as she was going to lose. I figured me controlling Mickie was going to win, or Tamina was somehow going to pull off an upset. I had no way of knowing Shayna was going to still pull off the victory, and yet here we are. Backlash, Women's Championship. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Of course, those of you who are watching this after WrestleMania are and I didn't watch WrestleMania. I have my reasons why I didn't, and I choose not to explain them here on the channel. You just go on my Twitter for that. But the point I'm trying to make is I was going to make was that I am in disagreement of Shayna Baszler not winning the championship from Becky Lynch. And this is no disrespect to Becky Lynch. Much like how she beat her for the title at Money in the Bank, I think Becky's time has come for her to change titles and just go somewhere else or do something else in the women's division. I think she's held the title long enough. And I think Shayna, if you were going to make Shayna as a star, that's how you do it. And they jobbed her out, essentially. And I'm pretty disappointed for that. But who knows? Maybe this will only lead to her getting the title at a different time. But nonetheless, the Queen of Spades is champion here in EBCW. The undefeated women's champion. Look at the variation of graphics in this. We have basically the 90s version of the graphics. So look at that face. Look at that face. She wants to kill her. As I was going to say before the introductions were being made, we basically have graphics from all throughout the timelines of WWE. We got the 90s Women's Championship graphic, the early mid-2000s Tag Team Championship graphic, and of course any major championship in WWE now that has its own graphic, and that's pretty funny if you ask me. And that is what it's all about right there, the EBCW Women's Championship. I look forward to this. I hope all of you do too. Again, working the arm now with Shayna Baszler. Mickie James reversing out of that. Smart move on her part. Can the veteran outdo the fighter? And if you ask me, I think Mickey's the better wrestler in this match. I think Shayna is the better fighter. And Shayna Baszler already talking to the crowd, already showing off her dominance with that taunt there, as Mickie James rolled to the outside, and now a suplex back into the ring for good measure. What is this? Knees to the face now. Dear Lord. Oh, Jesus. It seems like Shayna Baszler already has the number of Mickie James. And a kick to the gut there gives Mickie James some separation. And a flapjack off the ropes there, off that Irish whip. Hurricane Rana, great move there.
And Shayna Baszler evades that one.
Ooh, hip toss by Shayna Baszler. And Shayna Baszler, once again, she feels very confident here. This is the second taunt she's had, and the match is still very early on.
Great way to break down your opponent.
And I guess there's a reason for that, because she's basically been unstoppable. Every match I've been in, on and off camera, I mean, Shayna Baszler has more or less won the match. The 1 count there. So she has good reason to be cocky and confident, and a massive roundhouse kick to the face of the wrestling legend that is Mickie James. And now she's working the arm of Mickie. Kick out, or kick to the gut there, and a clothesline, big leaping clothesline. Of course, we can't mention Mickie James without also mentioning her husband, Nick Aldis, the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, the real World's Champion. Big ups to him as well. If you haven't already, check out NWA on YouTube, dude. They have a great fucking show. Their matches are a little bit short for my liking, but the fucking storytelling in that match, the storytelling they have throughout they go throughout the show, my honest opinion, is some of the best in wrestling right now. That's just my opinion. Big low fireman's carry there by Shayna Baszler. Reversal there by Mickie James. Good move there by the veteran. Spinning kick. Mickie James seems to be the one to be leaving her feet a little bit more often. I can't tell if that's going to help or hurt her as time goes on, but it's definitely something that Shayna is not very familiar with. She's really faced more or less ground opponents, and as you can see, Mickie is dominating the match at this point in time. Reversal there by Shayna Baszler. Another of these short knees to the face and the eye socket. She's going to be getting a black eye or a broken orbital bone at the worst. Big roundhouse kick missed there. Nice duck by Mickie James, or else that could have been very, very bad. Got a submission hold going now. Some sort of stretch and a reversal by Shayna Baszler. What Shayna got going on here, and it seems that she's now working the arm. It's something that she's been doing throughout the match. She's been tying up the arm in the rope. She's been stomping on the arm, and there was a look that Mickie gave Shayna right before she threw that punch that was like, oh shit, she's fired up. And some of you may be thinking it's a video game, you're just making that shit up. I don't know, man. I saw something in Mickie James's animated facial expression that was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, bitch. And now Shayna Baszler, using her signature, throwing these gut-wrench suplexes on the outside. And that's a thin layer of padding on the outside that doesn't really do much to protect anyone. And now Mickie James has to be very careful at this point in time. Karafuda clutch. Or driver, as Braxton Sutter clearly put it. She's going to tap out. Will she tap out? And yes, Shayna Baszler, still women's champion. The third title defense, or the third title that has been successfully defended, I should say. And Shayna Baszler, this is a hell of a match, man. At some point, I was actually convinced that Mickie James was going to win the match. And once those gut-wrench suplexes occurred on the outside, I knew at that point it was over. It was only a matter of time before Mickie James would tap out. The question is this: who's next? I mean, I don't want to sound like a Goldberg here, but honestly, who's next for Shayna Baszler? I'm not sure if there's anyone that is next. She's already run through pretty much the entire division. She's taken out legends and current wrestlers alike. We'll have to see in the coming months as we build to the next pay-per-view who Shayna Baszler's opponent is going to be. And when that day comes, ladies and gentlemen, I can only assume that the result will be more or less the same. Shayna Baszler, EBCW Women's Champion. I'll see you all in our next match here at Backlash.